Already 3 city challenge, Black Dusk Cloud, no equipment bags, reinforced doors, and explosive flashbangs, which immediately leads no equipment bags because, well, it's Black Dusk, and generally we want to be carrying a lot more things than we currently are, which isn't really possible because it's, well, no equipment bags, so we're just gonna have to, well, make do with that, and, well, we're gonna start by sorting our reinforced doors, which, provided that we don't miss, really just means that we have to fire double the amount of explosives, and that's really not that great, so we just got, well, 2 dumpers instead, which means that we've got 1 less other weapon, which might not be all that favorable, but we'll just take care of things over there. Wait over here to take care of things over here. And then afterwards take care of the remaining units over here, which... Finally, there's going to be explosive flashbangs, which really just doesn't matter, except for the part where we just want to avoid walking into flashbangs, because that's generally not very survivable if it's the exact wrong time, which... You should not have hit 3 shots in a row over there, but we'll just take out the remaining units. And then afterwards just wait over here, because there's not really much else that we can do right now. Except that those are shotgunners and we don't really want to deal with shotgunners because, well, shotgunners are absolutely terrifying because, well, they don't really stop to shoot, they just, well, move, and that's less than optimal, but we'll take out things over there. Take out things over there. Look out for units behind, and then go right through here before more units show up, because right now would probably be a good time. Just a small hint, but we'll go over here, grab some ammunition, and then I'll just go right back through here before we deal with those units over there, which... I mean, there are shotgunners chasing us, that might not really be great, but we're doing just fine right now, so we really shouldn't be all that concerned right now. So we're just gonna quickly drop everything off over there. Quickly intercept the units that are going to be presumably going after Cyber, and then after as well store everything out on that front over there, which should be relatively simple, which... I mean, so far it is, so we're just gonna go over here. Bypass this over here, and then afterwards, well, maybe we could just get some medkits moving earlier on, or at least earlier than we otherwise would be, which would be absolutely fantastic as long as we actually get into the basement, which isn't really what I guarantee as long as, well, units are still spawning and, well, presumably getting over here to breach over there, which... There are 2 medkits over here. That's not a lot, but we'll grab what we can get, and then afterwards we just go up right through here, and then afterwards hopefully not meet any units, because that's generally not very favorable for being alive, which should shock absolutely no one. But we're just gonna drop this off over here. Leave a medkit with us, because we'll probably need it later on, and then afterwards go back downstairs to... Oh, we'll heal up first. Go downstairs and grab some thermite before we get out of here, because that's presumably how this is going to go, which is perfectly fine, except for the fact that we kind of have, well, Cyber right behind us right now. That's in a rather undefended state, which, as a matter of fact, isn't really all that great for trying to be alive. So we're just gonna leave this all over here. Go right through here. And so far we're going to, for some reason, not meet any units, which I guess is a good thing, which... I mean, sure. We'll just wait over here. And hopefully someone reaches that over there relatively soon, which would give us a great deal of supplies, but we'll take care of you over there. Take care of all of you over there. Grab the extra medkit over there. Grab some ammunition over here. And then afterwards, well, seriously consider getting out of here, because this is not really a very conducive place to stay alive in, which should shock absolutely no one, but we're just gonna go right through here now. Go up over here. Swing this door open over there, and then afterwards, well, quickly organize things over here, which we've quite literally got everything that we could possibly ever need, which is absolutely fantastic. It's just that now we... kind of have to do the part where we want to be alive, which... we'll just back away from that, because that's not really the idealized definition of being alive, but we'll just wait over here. Really? We'll wait over here, take care of all of that over there. Take care of all of that over there, and then afterwards, well, subsequently just, well... That's not promising, but we'll just wait over here because there's not really much else that we can do right now. Let's wait for Cyber to just take care of everything over there before we, well, start moving, because that's generally what needs to happen, which might take a bit of moving, but for some reason we just can't find the units, and that's definitely, at the very least, extremely unnerving, which... Hi there. Not really looking for that over there, but we'll just wait over here. Sort of that over there. Grab that one bullet that we definitely need before we, well, seriously start considering grabbing that number over there, because we will eventually need it. Just not now. And it's kind of a weapon and not some kind of item, which means that it's not really, well, held by or affected by no equipment bags, which is absolutely fantastic. So we're just going to, well, first of all, make sure that we're actually grabbing the right thing before we slowly start moving through here, and then realizing that we should probably back away, because this is not really a great gunfight to be in, which... shouldn't be surprising, well, anyone. So we're just gonna go right through here. That is promising. And they are rifles, which makes things even more promising. So we're just gonna wait over here for a bit, because that's probably the better choice right now. So we'll just take care of all of that over there. Not get blown up. Take a view over there. Heal up. And then those run from the units before they start showing up behind us, because that's really not what we want. So we're just gonna go over here. Grab that one medkit. Go over here. And then those use the screwdriver over here, which, I mean, it's going fine so far. It's just that it probably won't be going fine for much longer, which sounds roughly about right. So we're just gonna go right through here. Hopefully not meet any units. Grab these two over here, and then those go right through here, which, I mean, all things considered, it's not going all that badly, which is why we're just gonna go right through here. Swing that door open over there. Reach over there. And then thankfully not miss any shots, even though it's a rather difficult shot to miss, which we're just gonna plant these over here. And then now we've got a matter of trying to get out of here, because that's kind of the premise of, well, being stuck over here, which we're just going to not go right now, because, well, we very well might have a chance of having a lot of CBRCs in front of us, and that's not a very survivable prospect, so we're just going to not do that. But you know what, never mind, we're just going to do exactly that right now, because this is clearly the right time, and it clearly won't backfire on us, because this is clearly how this is going to go, which probably isn't a lesson over here, but we'll just grab a few medkits, start shuttling them away from wherever that is, because we don't really want to move there. And then whilst the thermite burns, we're just going to move even more medkits. And then afterwards finally move the two explosives that are left inside, which will eventually make sense, just not right now. So we're just going to keep on moving them right around now, and then afterwards we're just going to, well, stay alive, which sounds roughly about right, but we'll just grab the two remaining explosives right now whilst Cyber plants those two over there before we will have things get sorted over there before we will just wait right over here, which, I mean, that's awfully convenient, so we're just gonna grab that over there. Go through here and hopefully not meet any units, because that's exactly what's happening right around now, and then afterwards, well, try and stay alive, because that's kind of the implications of what's happening over here, which, that is not promising, but we're just gonna grab that and run away, because there's probably gonna be units spawning somewhere, and we don't really want to be there when it happens, because that's not a very, very survivable prospect, which, speaking of which, we'll just take up all of that over there. Help Cyber over there, and then afterwards try and make sure that everyone's alive, which, you know, it'd be great if Cyber just grabbed a few medkits over there, because that's where all of the medkits are, but we could always just do this instead, and, well, go over here, grab the medkits hidden over there, go over here, grab yet another medkit before we, well, that's disappointing, but we don't really want to be dead right now, so we're just gonna really slowly take care of the units, because that's probably the most effective way to do things, which shouldn't really surprise anyone, but we'll just take care of those units that do show up. Back away real quick. Take care of you over there. Sort of that over there, and I'll have to quickly reload this over here before we... Sorry. No. We'll finally take care of all of that over there before we throw a few more bullets towards the Onyx unit, which is great and more, it's just that it's really awfully slow, which isn't really the most favorable, but we could always just grab a medkit right... We are not going to be grabbing a medkit right around now, because that's a terrible time to, well, get shot by CBRCs from over there, which is why we're just going to not do that, because it's, as mentioned, a terrible time to do that, because we don't really want to get shot from across the map, because that's not great for being alive, which isn't really surprising, but we're just going to take out all of these units over here. Say hi to the other mass of units over there, which... I mean, we'll just grab a few medkits right over here, because that's kind of what's happening right now, and because we kind of know that the units are not really close to us just yet, we're just going to quickly run over here, heal up, because that's exactly what's happening right now, and then stay alive right over here, which... That's the challenge done in just over 11 minutes and 30 seconds. Cheers everyone, have a great time.